All right, so guys, let's figure out how to do these kind of factoring problems. So it says factor the trinomial completely. Don't forget to factor out the GCF first. Okay, so remember what the GCF stands for. It stands for the greatest common factor. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at each of these pieces and we're going to ask ourselves, what do they all have in common? Well, I can see that they all have an x. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take an x out because there's an x that I can take out of all of them. The next thing I notice that we can do is we can divide each of those numbers by 3. So not only am I going to take out an x, I'm actually going to take out a 3x. So think about it this way. What we're doing is we're dividing each of these by 3x. So 3x to the third divided by 3x, well, 3 goes into 3 once. And if I have an x to the third, but I took out one of them, now I'm left with an x squared. Okay? And then let me do the same thing for this one. So 3 goes into 27 9 times. And if I had an x squared, which means there's 2 of them, and I took out one of them, I'm still left with an x. And let's see, let's do the last one. So 3 goes into 60, and there's a plus, so I'm going to put my plus. 3 goes into 60 20 times. And I used to have an x, but we took it out, so we don't have any more x's. Okay, so this is the first step. Okay, what we did is we factored out the greatest common factor. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to look at this piece right here. Okay, so when I have x squared plus 9x plus 20, these are the problems that sometimes you may have heard me on the videos. I call these the easy breezy cover girl problems. The reason being is when the number in front of the x squared is a 1, what we're going to do is we're going to say, well, what's 1 times 20? Well, 1 times 20 is still 20. And then I'm going to make what I call the T, because if you notice, this looks like a big T. And I want to think of all the numbers that I know multiplied at 20. Like 1 and 20, like 2 and 10, and like 4 and 5. And then what I want to do is I want to find the pair of numbers here that if I were to add them, I would get, in our case, I would get 9. Well, if you notice, 4 and 5 will give me 9. So now I'm going to rewrite this as x squared. Now, instead of me writing 9x, I'm going to write this as, oops, you know what? Let me do it this way. We can do the shortcut. The shortcut says we're going to put an x here and an x here. And these two numbers I'm going to put right here, a plus 4 and a plus 5. Okay? Now, just to make sure that we're doing this the right way, we can always check our answer. So this is factored out. But if I wanted to do the check, just so you can know that I'm not poking you in the eyes, right? Right, and I'm going, here's my hand, and I'm going like that. Those are my 2 fingers, here's my thumb, right? Just so you know that I'm not poking you in the eyes. We can multiply this thing out. So look, let's do it like this. Well, x times x, hey, that's going to give me x squared. X times 5, that's going to give me a 5x. 4 times x will leave me with a 4x, and 4 times 5 will leave me with a 20. If I were to add these two together right here, y'all, we'd end up with a 9x plus 20, which is what we had right here. Okay, so now that we've done that part, I'm going to take this piece right here, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to put that right here. And now we have it factored out. Okay, so the main thing, the reason why I came back to this one, y'all, we had that 3x in front. It was part of the problem. I didn't want to forget it. So all I did really on the next slide was, on the next page was kind of like, how do I factor that part? We go through this, okay? So anyway, I hope this helps. Guys, ask me questions. I'm happy to help you guys. I know this is an online class, but this is part of what an online class is. And the way I do mine is, you got questions? Ask me. I'll make a little video. Probably starting next week, y'all. I know I'm kind of talking a lot here, but probably starting next week, I'm going to have like an afternoon session where we can log in, and if you guys got questions or want me to go over something, we can do that as well, okay? Anyway, hope you guys are doing well. If you got questions, let me know. Happy to help.